Hey everyone, and welcome to the closing comments for the Teacher Empowerment Summit. Austin and I have been just thrilled the entire weekend to watch the hundreds of views roll in for various videos. It's been really great to see who you're most interested in, who you're watching more than once, and being able just to provide it. We've also provided an excellent summit and provide a lot of content to people. We've also been really excited to see how many people comment with us on Facebook, interact with us. We've had emails come in as well. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who made it possible or who were part of the group of the hundreds of teachers who joined us from around the country and world for the Teacher Empowerment Summit. Now it is a 3-day event, and this is day 3. Now you do have it will roll over until Monday morning. Yeah, so you've got basically until tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So even till noon, if you're on East Coast, you have a little extra time there. But if you are up, if you are watching late tonight, or you have videos that you want to squeeze in from today, tomorrow as well, or for the people that have those VIP access passes, the either all access or the VIP all access, you've been able to, and will be able to continue watching those videos all year long for as much as you want. Enjoy them over the summer, use them to help plan out, maybe add some gamification, some mindfulness, some breathing exercises, some health or fitness, all those different elements to your classroom as well. Now, if you have really enjoyed, if you've enjoyed the summit, if you've enjoyed any of the videos, if you have some ideas that you're going to take back to your own classroom, we would love to hear from you on Facebook or hear from you basically anywhere, but Facebook is probably the best. And if you haven't found us yet, find Teachers Starting Fires. It is a Facebook page that you can jump on, you can follow us, you can comment. And then we also have the Adventure Education or Adventure Educators Secrets for Teachers group as well. That is the official group for our Teachers Starting Fires Facebook page, and that's where we can have even more discussion. We love to interact with people, and it would be great to have even more of you jump on Facebook with us as well. And I'm actually going to pull it up back here real quick in Facebook, just see what is going on with everybody. Perfect. Yeah, so Facebook is an excellent, oh good, we've got another person or two liking, excellent. So as you like it though, and as you're asked to join that Adventure Educators Secrets for Teachers, we can start sharing our ideas with you as well as have a good discussion place for people who attended this summit also. All right, so tonight, the video. All 3 days, I've given at least one video kind of breaking down where that fits a little bit in the Teachers Starting Fires theory. It also is going to tie into, or I've also been kind of tying it into that current day. And so like today's video at noon Mountain Time, I went on and I talked about which speakers, which interview people you have today as well. All right. Cool. So I've got a message from Austin. We may be having a little bit of trouble going live, although it seems to be broadcasting from here. So give me just 1 second. Here we go. Okay, so, and as is the wonderful nature of live technology, we may have to do this, the full video later just to make sure that it gets linked out, but I'm going to share. So to start with, I am going to jump over to a little slide presentation. Basically, Austin and I, like we mentioned in the email, like we mentioned, or like I mentioned at noon, we've got an offer. If you have not seen it yet, we want to share it with you and just speak a little bit about how all of these ideas from the Teacher Empowerment Summit tie into what Teachers Starting Fires does as well. So I'm going to switch over and share. Here it is. Perfect. Okay. So the Teacher Starting Fires is a group, a group, yeah, it's an organization that Austin and I started. We're trying different methods, and the summit has so far been our favorite as well as a great way to connect to other people in the kind of education reframing space on the internet and out in the world. So Teacher Starting Fires is Austin and I. Our background, as you may have heard in the other videos, is a lot in the experiential education before we moved into the classrooms as well. And our Teacher Starting Fires program was a way to hopefully make teachers all over the world feel the same level of empowerment and success and happiness that we helped our adventure guides feel while we were running an indoor adventure field trip center for schools. And then also what we tried to bring into our classrooms as well. This Empowerment Summit has basically been an amazing and detailed look at a lot of the things that we teach through Teachers Starting Fires, a lot of the ideas we share. And it's been really rewarding to be able to see those same ideas kind of reflected and reverberated throughout, I guess, 20 different experts around the world, kind of really focusing on different pieces of it. So the first question I want to ask as we just talk about this is, what is your goal as a teacher? You joined the Teacher Empowerment Summit for a reason. You had some reason that you were jumping on here and that you wanted to see these videos. You had either an expert that you liked their ideas, you had someone that you wanted to know more from or more about, you had some ideas you wanted to learn more on. And the reason for that, other than just learning, which I know we're teachers, we love learning new ideas, but especially when it comes to your profession, you almost certainly had a goal that you would like. And if you're not sure of that goal, another way to think about your goal is maybe the goal of what it is you want to stop. So another way I phrase that is, what's your oh no moment? And that is, and we all have them, but basically maybe things are going well, or you just haven't thought about where you are in your career or as a teacher at the moment. And there's always those moments, hopefully not very often, but sometimes daily, if not more, where you think to yourself, oh no, not this, right? So whatever it is that makes you think, oh no, removing that might be the goal that you have. So if you can think of an oh no moment, we would love to hear from it or hear from you about it. But same thing, what is your goal? What is it that you want to bring into your classroom? Or a lot of times you might have what you want in your classroom, but you don't have what you want in your life as a teacher. And might be attending that Teacher Empowerment Summit for the reason we put it together, that teachers need to be able to take time for themselves, to take care of themselves, to enjoy their life, and to get the most out of life. And that's what the Teacher Empowerment Summit is about as well. All right. Now, so far at the summit, and just the quick framework going through without mentioning every single speaker and idea, but I've talked about the expedition mindset triangle, this idea that everything, every adventure you ever go on, so adventure in the classroom counts as well, every single class you're ever teaching, you're essentially, just like adventure guides are, you are an expert, you're a subject content matter expert, you're the most mature, hopefully, person in the group, you have the most experience, you're there to guide people through an experience that should be new and unique and challenging for them, just like an adventure guide. And just like an adventure guide, once it starts, you really don't have anything with you other than yourself, the resources that you have with you, that you brought with you, and the team that you build while you're out there. Now, just like an actual adventure guide, you do have emergencies that you can fall back on. Obviously, just like an adventure guide, if something's going terribly wrong, they can use a satellite phone often, or now cell phones in many places, to call their boss in. They can call a Flight for Life. You can get emergency medical assistance, but obviously that means something went really, really wrong in the adventure. So what I want to kind of make that comparison is what Austin and I have done all along, is that comparison to being an adventure guide and to being a teacher. They're very, very similar, and the results that you get from teaching as well as leading an adventure should be pretty similar as well. So for each one of these, the self, the resources, and the team, we dedicated a day of this summit, as well as 6 or 7 of the speakers that we had here. So the first one is the self triad, and you saw serve, and that is getting into the correct mindset to be able to serve, to be able to constantly, our positions as teachers is a service position, just like being an adventure guide is a service position. And huge keys to be able to keep your sanity and success and thrive instead of be crushed as a teacher or a guide is mindfulness and mission. And many teachers, or many of our speakers, talked about building up mindfulness, building up those meditation moments or that practice, as well as being able to reflect on how well you're meeting your own mission and how you're defining your mission in your mind. Building up your craft and your ability to connect to other people in your realm is another part. Basically, where we say you're serving, but you can't actually be a good server, you can't be a good guide if you are also so caught in service that you're forgetting to lead the group that you're with, which is obviously part of our job as guides, as teachers. So to build up your ability to lead, you're constantly improving your craft and constantly connecting with other people that have a similar idea as well. And then finally, live You heard many speakers talk about the importance of food, of fitness, and even just having social fun in your life. And I know that alone might be something that many teachers could use a little coaching on, and we're happy to offer that as well, a little bit of a framework for that. Now, day 2, yesterday, you got to look at, through the lens of all of these different speakers, we call it the resource triad. Basically, if you have your resources, that is whatever you bring with you on your adventure, you need to learn how to minimize the number of resources you're bringing and focus just on the ones that have the most value and benefit. You also need to learn how to master the resources that you do have. And if you have minimized your resources and mastered them, you also need to constantly maintain your resources. And we have found, Austin and I, as well as the people we've worked with, we find this is one of those, the maintaining your resources mindset is one that really sinks into your daily life just as much as anything to do in the classroom. And it's almost one of those things that catches in your mind and you're kind of like, for instance, oh, well, I'll clean up the car tomorrow, and then this kind of kicks in and you're like, no, I have to maintain my resources. And so you might take a little bit better care of your belongings and yourself as well, since your body is your key resource in the world. All right, now, today you got to see a lot of speakers about the team triad. Who talked about as you build up a team. So if you're a principal, obviously you have an admin team. You also have an entire team of teachers, depending on the size of your school. It could be small or large. And if you're a teacher, you actually have numerous teams. Every single class that you are with is a team. Now, on this, think just to, Friday, or think tomorrow to the classes that are coming up. Some of your classes might feel more like you're part of a team or a team leader, and some of yours might feel more like you're supposed to be almost the jail guard or a prison guard for your students. If you hopefully found at least one tip to start moving your group of students or teachers from feeling like adversaries or from people you were opposed to or people you're trying to control to members of a team. Now, ways to build up that, we consider it trust, interdependence, making sure people actually have a sense of needing each other, as well as success, which is something that you want every group to experience together. And especially if you're a principal or a teacher that works with other teachers on a regular basis, if you have not worked hard to make sure that your team experienced success in some way or another, that is an area that you want to build up. All right, so at this point, I just want to know, and you can throw this out to Austin on Facebook or you can comment, but what did you take away from the summit so far? Because I know there are some ideas that have really stuck. After 20 interviews and editing and everything else, there are still numerous little ideas that really stand out as unique to me, and I know it's going to be different for each one of you as well. So the question is just, what have you taken away, as well as maybe, which ones did you want to watch more of? If you don't have that VIP pass, it is not too late to get it. The price has not gone up yet, so you can get that VIP pass. But what did you take away from the summit? And if you want to continue the magic of the summit, we have put together this really excellent challenge. You might have seen it in the initial page if you got a VIP pass, but it is called the Summit Seekers 30-Day Challenge. And this is part of what Austin and I want to talk to you about tonight. What this video is for as well, is that we know that what did you take away? That is a difficult question. That can be something that is a little bit hard to put together out of 17, 18 hours of content that we have that we've shared with you. Even going through the highlights and watching each one of those, putting together your own list of takeaways is challenging. It's definitely a bit of a struggle. And even if you have it, another question then is, when will it get implemented, right? So what I'm going to say is, don't fall for the inspiration bell curve. And then I know every single video just watching I knew was super inspiring. And then I also knew that if I didn't go back, and thankfully I have in editing and recapping and creating one-page action sheets, those highlight reels, I know that I'm going to, I've repeated them enough in my mind, I've focused on them, I've analyzed them, that some of them are going to stick much more than just after the initial interview. And that was, initial interview, not just watching, but interacting with them, with the speakers myself. And still, I know that I'm going to fall victim, and everybody does, to this inspiration bell curve. So essentially, and this is our online summit, but it could be pretty much any summit, any training you go to, honestly, like some YouTube videos you watch, but you're going along at your normal baseline level of inspiration and happiness and enthusiasm and all those positive traits of teaching. And this could be fairly high, it could be fairly low, but you're going along at your baseline, and suddenly you start going to this online summit and you just have this amazing inspiration here. And this is a slightly different use of the bell curve, but the idea is the same. In this case, you're going through time forward and inspiration up. But this huge grouping right here, this is as you go forward in time, you're attending a summit and you're going to be super inspired. I know right now, if you've been watching videos all weekend, you have certain videos that you're very excited for, you have certain ideas you're really excited for, and then unfortunately tomorrow, it is going to fall right back over here. And there's a huge chance that unfortunately most of what you learned, most of what you were so excited for won't get implemented because you just don't have a solid framework to do that. Now, you might choose one thing to really focus on, but even, for instance, I know in Kim Strobel's Strobel Education, but she is the happiness coach. She talked all about the 8 steps, I believe it was 8, the 8 steps to create happiness. And they're these practical hands-on things that you can do each day. For one example is list a certain number of things that you're grateful for, you feel gratitude towards, and just by doing that each day, you can build up actual chemical happiness in your brain. Now, of course, she said even with those 8 things that you want to only focus on one at a time, because implementing just her framework alone out of our 20 speakers can be pretty difficult. So that is why Austin and I put together the Summit Seekers 30-Day Challenge, which is right here. There is going to be a Facebook group about it as well that we're going to talk, but I want to break down kind of just the elements of it. We basically, the 3 secrets to the Summit Seekers 30-Day Challenge, and I've got these 3 secrets. Basically, just like you would expect, self, resources, and team, the 3 key elements of any interaction, any adventure you're going on, and the Summit Seekers Challenge will absolutely be an adventure for everybody that joins us. But if you have these 3 secrets, and this is kind of the secrets we put into the summit, and that's why our 30-day Summit Seeker Challenge is going to help you really turn everything in the summit into something that you actually use in your daily life as well. So our first one, and this is super quick, I'm just going to go through these ideas and kind of leave it up to you on whether this is a challenge that's right for you. But our first step that we worked in is small steps. And you know, those 2 quotes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, or how do you eat an elephant, 1 bite at a time. Both of those have been worked into the Summit Seekers Challenge. So essentially over the 30 days, the structure is that Austin and I have taken these 20 amazing videos and we have broken them down. We've taken out the really practical, immediately applicable steps, and then we have structured that into a 30-day program so that you don't suddenly feel like you have 1,000 different things to try at once to change your lifestyle. Instead, we're going to structure it down. You still have, I mean, even your own sense of choice about specifically what you'd like to pursue. But within this framework, because we've broken it down into small individual steps that we kind of walk you through, you're able to really get much more progress than if you just think back, hey, what did I see over the entire 3 days and 18 hours of content? And by following the Summit Seekers Challenge, you're going to have a much more structured way to eat an elephant 1 bite at a time, essentially. The way that we do that, a large part of it is daily coaching videos. And these are only, and the best part is, I love the time commitment, which, you know, a transformation should take a lot of focus, a lot of determination, but it doesn't need to take a huge amount of time from you. So if, you know, if you're one of those rare teachers with extra time you're looking to kill, but you're not really motivated to change, this is not the program for you. In fact, I don't think there is one for you. But if you have maybe not a ton of time, but you really are interested in getting some or many of these ideas from the summit into your daily life, then this is something, this 30-day Summit Seekers Challenge is definitely something I recommend. You'll get a quick about 3 to 5 minute video in the morning and another one in the evening. The morning one, and this is part of that framework with our triad again and self, but your mindfulness videos in the morning. And this is what we did with our guides as well, and we talk all about it in the video. But basically a 3 to 5 minute time period in the morning to recenter yourself and go through a series of exercises to build up the right kind of chemical balance in your brain and mindset for the day, as well as get in the place that you need to be the best possible, most empowered teacher throughout the day. At the end of the day, then, our video is more focused on mission and reflecting back on the day and whether you're meeting the goals that we're going to help you structure through this challenge as well. All right, so secret 2 is guidance. This is essentially why people hire guides outdoors. Guides are there not because they have some magical skill. In fact, every time I'm guiding, the only time I knew it was not going to go well is when somebody showed up and was like, hey, I can't do whatever this skill is, so I hired you. And it's like, well, we're hiking. It doesn't matter if you hired me. If you can't hike, we can't hike together either. If you can't rock climb, we can't rock climb together either. And it's the same in the classroom. We know that with students, that essentially, you know, if a student shows in and says, I'm not willing to put in any effort and I don't know any math, you do the math. Obviously, that's not actually teaching. That's not actually guiding your students. Your student has to want to get to a level of understanding for you to be able to guide them there, right? Now, for us in this format, we are the guides, and we're very excited and really honored to be able to be your guides. But essentially, the way that we do this is we guide you through these videos as well as a structured workbook, which you'll get page at a time throughout the program so that you're not flipping ahead. Kind of undoes the whole 30-day program thing. But as you get these pages, they will become a little bit more complex. But the whole idea is not that we're giving you, 14 pages a day, but that on these simple single sheets, that you can work throughout the day and throughout the 30-day program to start embedding some of these habits into your daily behavior in a way that even if you wanted to, you could honestly reuse because they're digital. You could print off another 30-day book and walk yourself through this challenge for the second or third month, or do it every day if you wanted to, and it would be pretty amazing as well. So the structured workbook, the daily pages that we will kind of refer to in the videos as well that we guide you through, this is going to be another element of the coaching program that makes it a little bit more possible. So the question isn't, hey, can you take 18 hours of content and start doing them tomorrow? Because obviously that's not going to be possible. But the question is, hey, do you have maybe 5-10 minutes a day, a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes in the evening, that you might spend a few minutes with one of us as a guide in order to help walk you through towards your own goals, towards reaching the level of teaching empowerment that you want to reach. And if you have a few minutes of that for a day, especially in the morning and evening, then we can definitely make this program work perfectly for you. All right, and finally, secret 3 is community. This is super popular. If you have seen any of the CrossFit gyms, or if you are part of them or do any kind of fitness, one of the big parts of fitness communities is that it is a community. And that's our third part on that triangle as well, is that, if you go out into the wilderness and your only team is yourself, that is always going to be hard. And as a teacher, it can be even harder not to be by yourself, but to be surrounded by people who maybe aren't on board with the ideas of the summit and teacher empowerment and really thriving in your classroom. Unfortunately, I think we've all met teachers who, their biggest joy as a teacher almost seems to be being a miserable martyr to their cause. And that's tragic, but I know I have met so many, and I've never met a school that doesn't have at least one of them. I'm hoping they're out there, maybe some really high quality, smaller schools, but I think we all know at least a teacher, if not at our own school, at a nearby one, that that maybe is not necessarily going to be the teacher that is helping you thrive in your desire to build up a team of like-minded educators, right? So the neat part is we do have an exclusive Facebook group for people that join the Summit Seekers 30-Day Challenge program. You will have access to this Facebook group where you get much more direct access to Austin and myself, where we get to, and the biggest part is that you have access to all of the other people in the summit or to your group of the summit challenge, so that you can go through that 30-day challenge with a similar like-minded cohort and have a place to talk as well. All right. So we're also going to throw in some additional value just parts. The 30-day coaching program, we're also, you get this 30-day coaching intensive, essentially just at the price right there even is going to be, as you can see, essentially the cost of a couple Starbucks drinks a day. So for every video, if you are willing to, at the end of 30 days, if you had 60 Starbucks drinks, you would probably have some medical issues and probably no more sense of calm or focus or empowerment or self-control or awareness in your classroom. You wouldn't have an increased level of fitness, an increased level of healthiness. You wouldn't have increased your own habits and built up daily habits over the last 30 days, other than the daily habit of 2,000 calories from Starbucks, right? So we're also going to build on this Facebook community so that you can start building up your own professional team across the country and world as well. And you get that Summit Seekers workbook, again, page at a time, so it's not the whole book, all at once, but throughout you will have access to that entire workbook put together so that you have it. And you will get access to a few others of the handouts and some of the other resources that Austin and I have built through Teachers Starting Fires as well. So we're going to add that in. You're also going to get weekly training and implementation videos. That is on top of those daily coaching videos. We do have a few more, essentially like some of our framework. And again, it's just additional content. A lot of teachers, I think, will find this a very helpful, useful way to think about their own lessons. But we're not here to try to replace your system or give you more work. We're really here just to help coach you into thriving the best possible way in your own version of teaching. And that's what we're excited to be able to do with you. We're even going to throw in some bonuses here as well, because the Teacher Empowerment Summit, like, you're here and we're happy to have you and we're happy to work with you. So these bonuses, you do get a certificate of completion. You'll get a pretty awesome little package in the mail recognizing your accomplishments when you're finished. You're also going to get, and these are some resources, it's a Circle Games Adventure Pack, which is a detailed guide. It's a series of games that Austin and I used, and we've used them from like elementary age all the way up to literally rocket scientists that came from an astrophysics based company out here in Denver and worked with us. And after it was focused on a completely different subject, and this was just our intro game. But after playing these intro games, the rocket scientists, we got one it was at least one that I can remember, might have been a couple of them, but one of them reached out and said, like, wow, those name games were amazing. That was like the best part of this 3-hour course that you taught, was this 15 minutes of name games. So we have the full set of those games put together. Just that alone is going to add a lot of value to this coaching program as well, especially if you implement it. Now, price, the question is, what is reaching your goal worth to you? You know, and we're talking about a 30-day program. You're going to get videos twice a day that you have access to, and it's structured in a way that really walks you through this program. So instead of, you know, necessarily like, hey, here's a book, because we all know, you know, we could have written this out into a book or just a very long email and emailed it to you and been like, hey, each day look at one of these. But we know that no real change happens from that. So Austin and I wanted to kind of put the effort in to make this hopefully a program that will really help you reach the goal that you want. And it is a 30-day program with that coaching, with email access to us, with those Facebook groups built in, or with the exclusive Facebook group built in. So the question is, what is this price? What is this program worth to you price-wise? And the initial price, and if you've seen it, you're aware, what we normally put this out for is $350, which again, over an entire month is essentially a couple large Starbucks drinks a day. And depending on your area, it might only be like 1 Starbucks drinks with tax, depending on what you get at Starbucks each time, right? But that $350 is not going to be your price because you are here as part of the summit, because you've watched the video all the way to the end here. We do have a pretty awesome deal for you. If you look on the page that this video is hosted on, you'll see a button and you can go register right now. Your price, we're going to give you a pretty major discount off this $350 price, and we're giving you down to $105, which is exactly what that registration button should go for. So if you are interested, if you want to capture the magic of this program, if you want to all right, I'm getting a couple updates here. There is not a button. There will be a button very momentarily. We're also sending out, yeah, that was right. There was a slight weird issue with our website. We have these little things pop up, which is the fun of a live summit for us as well. But there will be a button momentarily, and you will also be receiving an offer to join this for that $105 price. However, it does expire. So if you're like, oh, good, I'm getting an email, I'm going to go check it in a week or two. The week or two, it will not be there. In fact, in a week, it won't be there. In fact, starting during the week, this week, as you head back to school, you're not going to have that option. So tonight, and you don't want to risk it, possibly very early in the morning, but honestly, tonight, if you've made the decision, if this sounds like something you want to do, this price of $105 is going to be very briefly priced, or very, I guess, briefly in existence. Yeah, and I just was double checking, sorry for the pause there, but that is in fact the 70% discount that we've got going on. So if you have not seen this yet, if you've not taken advantage of it yet, you have basically the rest of this evening to jump in. Now, the neat part is, just like everything else about the summit, you do have a 100% money back guarantee. You even will get to keep any of the, the resources that have shown up. But if you want to sign up for that, it's $105. It is a 30-day coaching program. You've basically got 2 ways that you can end your year. From what I've seen, teachers can end their year kind of in a spiraling, a downward spiral of increased stress and franticness and worrying about how the end of the year is and just looking forward to summer. Or you can also have this 30-day coaching program that takes all of the amazing value of the empowerment. There we go. So you're going to have this amazing opportunity of all of the empowerment, all of the feelings from this empowerment summit, and you're going to have that kind of distilled and fed out to you over the 30 days in a way that really makes it part of your life. Cool. So our updates from Austin. If you now refresh the page, you're going to have that button appear. You may have to click play on the video again to restart the live stream, but this is essentially the end of this presentation. So if you are sold on this, if you want to be sold on this, if you want to learn just a little bit more and jump in, Austin and I would love to see you as part of this 30-day summit. You will be getting your first video tomorrow morning as part of this program, and we are very excited to be joining you and excited to be helping walk you towards this path of empowerment, which is what Austin and I love to share with the world. All right, so I am Jesse with Teachers Starting Fires. It's been the Teacher Empowerment Summit, and it has been absolutely wonderful. I hope you have gotten something away from the summit, something for your own practice. Austin and I really hope to see you in the 30-day challenge, and we would love to hear from you on social media, through our email, and pretty much any other format as well. So until then, refresh to see that button. It's been great, and onward